welcome back to Triathlon Training Explained, powered by TrainingPeaks. And this week, we are up at Team Bath for a spot of swimming, and Fraser has asked whether I'll help him with his technique.
Yeah, I sure have. I mean, it's quite some time since anybody's done that for me, and I've definitely fallen into some bad habits.
Yeah, well, this is actually something that we do occasionally from time to time, and we thought we'd bring you guys along for the ride and hopefully show you guys how you can also analyze and improve your own technique.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're a member of a swimming club or a triathlon club, it's highly unlikely that you've got a coach on pool deck having a look at your swimming, giving you any pointers, and it makes it really hard to get any sort of improvements with your stroke. But if you do have a training partner like I do today, then they can help out.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it is never going to be as good as having a fully qualified swimming coach overlooking your stroke and giving you technical pointers, but we don't all have access to a coach like that, whereas a training partner will still be able to highlight any issues in your strokes and maybe any potential causes behind them.
Yeah, so like we've said, this is something that we do fairly often to help one another out. So today we thought we would share some of our tricks with you and tell you what it's all about. Is that good enough?
Okay, so probably the obvious and best option for swimming analysis is filming. That way you can actually personally watch your own footage back. But we will get into that a little bit later on. After all, filming is not always possible. You may not have the equipment for it, or the facilities may not allow you to. So we're going to start off by showing you what Fraser and myself tend to do. And the nice thing with this is it is super quick and super easy.
Yeah, now the good thing is you can turn up the swimming pool as you would for your regular swim sessions together, jump in, do your warm-up like you would, get out, do some analysis with each other, but then just carry on with the rest of your swim session as you had planned.
Yeah, but for the purpose of today's video, I'm actually going to stay on dry land to start off with, but Fraser, I'm afraid you've got to jump in now and warm up.
I do, so off I go.
Off he goes. Right, well, as Fraser is diving in, it is important that you are warmed up before doing any technical analysis of your swimming. But equally, don't overswim so much that you're actually tired and actually your technique starts to fall to pot. And then once you are both warmed up and you're ready to start taking a look at one another's swimming technique, one of you just needs to jump out onto poolside, as I'm demonstrating already, and start taking a look at a stroke. Nice one. Are you all warmed up now?
I am, Mark, ready to go.
All right, cool. Is there anything that you're particularly struggling with technique-wise at the moment, or you don't feel is quite right?
My rotation is really poor generally, Mark, so I think if you could have a look at that, that'd be brilliant.
Okay, good stuff. All right, well, if you want to head off now and just swim at a steady aerobic pace for a few lengths, and just swim as you normally would, and I'll start to take a look.
Okay.
Okay, so that was really important. You need to understand if there's a particular area of their stroke that they're struggling with or they feel unhappy about. So in Fraser's case, it's his rotation. He feels quite flat in the water. So I'm obviously going to be taking a look at that, but it's also really important that you're looking at other areas of the stroke. So as Fraser's swimming up and down, or as a swimmer that you're analysing is going to be swimming up and down, you want to start by being head on to them. So as they swim towards you and away from you, you're analysing their stroke. So already I can see as Fraser's swimming towards me here, yeah, he is quite flat in the water. He has got that limited rotation that he's mentioned. But there's probably a cause behind that. So I'm going to carry on analysing. I'm going to stand up now and see if there's a reason behind that limited rotation. Okay, so now I'm at this higher angle, and I've been watching Fraser go up and down for a few lengths now. And what I'm starting to actually notice with his stroke is that his shoulders are trying to rotate, but his hips almost aren't moving in sync. Another thing is also his head's quite high. So I'm interested to look at that in a little bit more detail. So now I'm actually going to change my angle. I'm actually going to follow him alongside the pool, up and down on the side path, and just see it from that different angle. Okay, so that's actually been really interesting following Fraser side on there. I can see that head angle where he's got his head almost a little bit too high, and that's actually restricting and limiting his rotation. Another thing I'm noticing is actually he almost doesn't get that purchase as his hand first enters the water. So I almost think as he is trying to rotate onto his side, he hasn't got that confidence to put the pressure through that hand and get a really good pull on his side in that rotated motion. So this has actually been really good, because what this is highlighting is actually where you think you've probably got loads of things wrong with your stroke, your rotation, your hand entry, your catch, your pull. In actual fact, it's normally just one, maybe two things that are the root cause of all your issues. Now, that has been very valuable, but I still feel like we're just scratching the surface with Fraser. So now I'm actually going to go into a bit more detail and jump in the water. Okay, so now I'm in the water, I'm just going to do the same kind of stuff, just from beneath the water. Dip down, push yourself down under the lane rope if you need to, and take a look from various different angles. Now, everyone is going to have different issues with their stroke. They're going to have to swim in a different way. And we're not saying that you're all suddenly swimming experts and you're able to give technical advice. But actually, you're going to be of a huge use to that swimmer by just being able to relay some of the things that you've seen. See, for instance, Fraser, did you know that your head is a little bit too high and you're not really getting that purchase at the front of your stroke, which I think is actually the root cause behind this restricted rotation.
No, I didn't, Mark, so that's really interesting stuff for me to go away with.
Yeah, exactly. So that is kind of point proven, and swimming is probably the worst for this, because what you think you're doing is not necessarily what you are actually doing.
No, so I've come away with loads of takeaways that Mark's kindly given me, and I can work on those in the future. So a really good analysis tool is actually being able to film yourself when you're in the pool. But do be careful, check with the pool beforehand, because there is often restrictions with camera work in swimming pools.
Yeah, and now probably the easiest and most basic option is just to use something like your phone, an iPhone, either getting someone else to film for you, or in fact propping it up at the end of the pool. If you've got a waterproof case for your phone, you can actually just prop that up, set record, and off you go.
Or the ultimate tool is perhaps using the GoPro. These things are rather useful. You can take them in the pool and do all sorts with them, right?
Yeah, so there's numerous different cameras out there similar to the GoPro. I've used these loads in the past, and if you can, prop them on a pole, something like this, where you can extend it out. But I've even used the broom handle before, and then you can actually analyze them from all sorts of different angles, above, below, in front, side on. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and then you can take that footage away with you. You can watch it back as many times as you want. You can slow it down, look at it frame by frame, try and see that catch that I don't have. Or you can speak to somebody who's a little bit more qualified to hopefully give you swim tips and drills to go forward with.
Well, as we made quite clear today, we're not suggesting that any old person can start giving technical advice on the swimming, but many of you out there are probably just swimming on your own. You're not getting a specialist swim coach analysing your technique. So actually, following a guide, as we've been kind of doing today, and analysing each other's technique and giving feedback on their stroke is invaluable.
Yeah, absolutely, but do be mindful that every swimming pool is a little bit different, setups vary, and of course be mindful of other pool users as well if you're trying to do some filming. But if you've got any further questions that Mark and I can help with, do drop them in the comment section below and we'll do our best to give you some help.
Yeah, and if you did like today's video, then please hit that thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see more from GTN, you can click on the globe and subscribe. If you'd like to see our how to catch video, then just click here.
And if you need to see another video about how to pool, you can get that here.
Which Fraser's really good at.